Hello, Stone Seekers, and welcome to Across the Realm. How are we doing, Bear?
Oh, we are doing well, thank you. I'm in sunny Mexico at the moment. Just landed last night and very happy to be here. Yes, how are you today, Mr. Loco?
I'm doing great, but I have a new nickname for you, but it still follows the animal trend. I'm gonna just call you
Oh, let it rip.
Pitbull because you're Mr. Worldwide. It seems like very bad dad joke there, but we had you in England, we had you in the United States, and a couple different states. We have you in Mexico.
Yes, sir.
Wow. So you
Absolutely.
just got in. So you haven't. The first thing you're doing is an episode of Across the Realm, huh?
Exactly. Across the realm, drinking a coffee and a green juice. Exactly.
Ah,
We are.
very nice.
We are
I just
here.
have my water.
Oh, good. Good.
Well,
Good stuff.
let's get to it then. How's that sound?
Pretty good. Let's
You
get
ready?
to it.
Okay,
Yes, sir.
so a lot going on in Wonders right now.
Oh yeah.
It was interesting because someone came in the Discord this week and was like, "Hey, what's going on? This seems kind of dead." And I defaulted to like, "Oh, let me list all the things that we have going on right now." Not trying to be rude. Other people were nicer and just started asking questions, and the guy was super cool. But I
Mm.
listed everything, and I was like, "Man, there is a lot going on." Well, let's start. How about we start with do you have any news on this Orbital challenge? Do you have any news
Oh
on that
yes,
yet?
absolutely. We have been crunching the numbers. We have been reviewing your submissions, and we have come to a decision. Should we? Should we
I don't
announce
know.
this now? What do you think? What do you
I
think?
don't know. Is it? I kind of. I just want to know if they're not. Is it going to be put in Discord? Are we going to do it
Oh,
here?
it's going
What's
to
the
be
plan?
across all socials. It's going to be in Discord as well, and the winner will be winning a first edition box, which of course now, as we know, are sold out. So
Wow,
yeah,
first edition, like a full box, not the mini boxes.
no, like a proper box.
A proper box. Well, it's up to you, Bear, what you want to do. If we want to wait till the Discord, but that's happening today, right? The announcement somewhere.
Yeah, well, as we've said in the past, there should be a reward for people showing up to these across the realm streams. So perhaps at the end of the stream, I will reveal who the winner is.
I love it. Speaking of winners, I believe we also have another Radish Run tournament occurring
Oh yeah,
right now, too, right?
yes.
So we have a tournament run by Radish. There was an announcement in the old Discord server, one of the first tournament, to head over to Radish's server if you'd like to participate in that tournament. Basically, it's live right now. You're searching for opponents to play. You want to play at least 3 opponents before what was it? Oh, I had to update it, but I lost it here. 1 second, guys. You want to play before Saturday, August
That's it.
25th.
Yeah.
0200 UTC, 10 p.m. Eastern, 7 p.m. Pacific. But if you just play one match, just one, you qualify for something. All right. Here's my second attempt. I'm going to try and share a tab. Let's see what happens.
Mm-hmm.
All right. Is that tab being shared?
Yes, sir.
Can we see it? Let me see what happens when I click. Oh, wow. Okay. I was
There
able
it
to
is.
click back. See, this is new to me. Okay, there it is. Conjure Wayfinder. It is a character proof Umbrathane spell, character proof. That is on the line, or I believe $100 just to play a match. Now, everyone doesn't get it, but I believe there'll be some sort of randomization to find out who potentially wins this. Are you going to try and play a match, Bear, just to try
You
and
know
say?
what? I've been thinking about it. And yes, I'm gonna play in the competition, and we're gonna see what the general standard is like. I'm either gonna be one. See, it's tricky as one of the game designers to come and play
Sure.
the game. Because I have everything to lose. There's no situation in which it's a celebration to win as a game designer, right? If I win, it's like, well, of course he did. He designed, he had a hand in designing the game. And if I lose, it's like, oh my goodness, they dethroned Bear. So in either event, it's a lose-lose. But I want to play some Wonders, So I'm gonna be there. I'm gonna be playing some games with you guys in the Discord. Let's make it happen.
Yeah, I love it. I mean, it's all in fun, but I totally hear you. What I really like about this proof is it's an Umber themed proof.
Yeah,
And speaking of, they just released the Stone Seeker Voyage video on
exactly.
Umberthine. And I'm a fan of the light side of Umberthine as well. I was learned and said, to have a shadow, there has to be light to cast that shadow. And this,
Right.
as an Umberthine spell, sure doesn't seem like a very dark spell. So I'm really attracted to the idea. It's Umberthine, but it's nice and bright. And that's just playing one match. Just playing one match.
Mm. And
Uh,
yes, this is illuminating the dark, which of course is a very important part of Umber theme that we haven't touched so much on until perhaps this Stoneseeker video was released. We've always thought of Umber theme as the scary dark one, but yes, as you said, you can't have shadow without the light.
Yeah, I love it. Otherwise, if you really want to qualify for the bracket will be on that, August 28th, I think.
Hmm.
Number one seed will play the 8, 2, the 7, and so forth. All best of ones on that Sunday. The championship match will be a best of 3. Sorry, misspoke. It looks like it's August 26th. Whatever that Sunday is that bracket play. Sorry, I got my dates mixed up a little bit. So, play by August 25th, play 3 matches to qualify. You will then get into some sort of randomization for this character proof or $100 cash. And top 8 will finish up on that Sunday. Best of ones. The only best of 3 is a championship game. I think I said it right, Bear. Did I do okay?
Oh, yes, sir. That is it.
All right, let's see if I can figure out how to stop sharing this proof. And boom, we're back. We're back. Okay. The bracket. I mean, we got lots going on. There is another contest. You got your Radish tournament. We have the first Friday Orbital Challenge. We have the bracket of our wonders. Here we go. Let's see if I can do this again. Shifting over to Wonders Facebook, round 10.
Oh, yes.
Eternitum, the Space Lich, and Dark Magic Hydra. Who do we got here?
Indeed. This was much more contentious than I was expecting. Really, a big one here is I know that Dark Magic Hydra has been a fan favorite. It's on a ton of the marketing. However, Eternitum the Space Lich just looks so damn cool in that full scale picture. And as a result, I think this could be a very, very close one. If you go one to the right, you'll see Eternitum looking super badass there. Yeah, I think it's anyone's game. It's anyone's game right now.
Yeah, I mean, I'm a fan of that Hydra. I know he's a fan favorite. Is this Space Lich in any of the playtest decks right now?
No, Space Lich is not in any of the playtest decks right now.
Yeah, so it's really just going on that art there where Dark Magic Hydra has seen some gameplay with that deny ability and just smashing wonders off the board. So it'll be interesting to see. When does this one end? When's the voting end on this?
Right, this is going to end Sunday night, and then we're going to be publishing those results on Monday. Now, I'm actually going to give you guys an update on how it's looking.
Okay.
Right now, with 33% of the votes, we have Dark Magic Hydra. And with 67%, we have Eternitum the Space Lich. So this contentious bout is looking less and less contentious. And so, if you're an Eternitum Space Lich fan, make sure you get your vote in there so we can crush Dark Magic Hydra. And of course, if you're a Dark Magic Hydra fan, you got to protect your big boy. You know, this big purple guy, he's going to need your vote. So in either event, good luck, and I hope your side wins.
That surprised me. I think I got my vote in already. It was for the Hydra, but that definitely does surprise me. I expected the Hydra to take it or for it to be a lot closer. So very interesting. We'll see. Joe Douglas, Space Lich Snowball. It can't be stopped.
It cannot. No chance.
I don't know. Man, that dark magic. Yeah, that's interesting. I guess we'll see. They're both very similar to me as far as their look, even though one is, this monstrosity of a creature, and the Space Lich is a little more humanoid. But I mean, you look at those eyes; they have that look that look to them, right? So they
Oh
both
yeah,
look like they're
for
there to
sure.
cause some trouble. So, well, thanks for that update. Get the votes in. 33-67. Wow, that's a lot closer than I thought it would be. Okay, so there's 3 things going on right there. Orbital challenge. Get those votes in for this bracket and participate in a tournament to potentially get in a bracket as well on that Sunday. Okay, well, I know we talked a lot of Umbrathine already, but we already covered that Orbital. What are your original thoughts on, I believe, our last Orbital we haven't talked about? I feel it's a contentious one, Boundless. What are your first, when you hear Boundless, what comes to your mind right away?
Game bending logic. Thinking everything is gonna be okay, and then it's not. Boundless is the Joker in the pack. It's the space between the orbitals. At least that was our first our first iteration of the story. Boundless really represents taking everything you know about the game and flipping it on its head, breaking rules, cheating, and it's fantastic supplement to other orbitals. But also, given the way that we've designed the game, Boundless does stand by itself too. So worth considering.
Yeah, when Joe, I agree. It's horrible
Right.
for people that cheat Monopoly. If I find out you're a Boundless player, I have my eyes on you the
Mm.
whole tournament. I mean,
Oh yeah.
I don't
Oh
want
yeah.
to all of a sudden show up and I have 6 stones because one of them disappeared into someone's pocket or something like that. But yeah, Boundless. The first word I think of is cheat, cheating. You said it more eloquently when you're like bending the rules, between. I'm
Yeah.
like, no, they just straight up just say,
Yeah.
oh, this is how the game works. No, now this is how the game works.
Yeah. Almost as if to say, you should never borrow $10 from a Boundless player because you're gonna get 50 back, but the IRS is gonna be on your back. So
Right.
you
Yeah,
gotta watch out.
exactly.
Yeah, for sure.
Let's find out a little more on Wonder's CCG website there. And sorry, I have to scroll up. Sorry, everybody. I was looking at it. And this second paragraph here, I feel like said it best for me. Boundless is the domain where the usual constraints of reality dissolve into a landscape of limitless potential. So thinking game-wise, right? We're saying that this usually works. Sorry, now it doesn't. And limitless. I mean, limitless. Environments defy categorization. The universe itself is an ever-shifting mosaic of astonishing diversity, home to entities that challenge and transcend the very fabric of the known universe. Yeah, it's pretty crazy. Well, I mean, how does that resonate with you? That one, that's the part that I felt really kind of melded the game with this Orbital.
Yeah, totally. I mean, we've been very delicate in the way that we weave the story into the gameplay, and I think that's something that a number of other games haven't necessarily captured. I'm very grateful that we took the time to really connect the story with each orbital. Like when you play Boundless, you really feel like you're playing Boundless.
Yeah, I agree as well. I feel that story. I feel games that are successful. I mean, there are games that are successful without stories, but I like to play some RPGs, and that story woven in with the game mechanics make it all that much more enjoyable.
Totally.
Let's look at a few game mechanics. Sorry, I scrolled a little fast there. Okay. So the original game mechanic for Boundless is Ascend. Can you tell us a little bit about Ascend, Bear?
Sure. Ascend, think of it as a reward. If you're able to play these cards throughout the game, and you manage to keep them alive until the 7th realm, and you've stacked them up across, Ascend is effectively cashing those checks. It's to say you have been rewarded for your patience, for waiting and planting your seeds, and now it's time for you to reap the fruit. You just have to make sure you have enough actions to enact that power advantage that you'll have after having all of your wonders ascend. And of course, ascending is usually something like in the 7th realm, on the 7th round. Oh, sorry. On the 7th round, across whichever realms you have these wonders in, they tend to get some kind of significant bonus, which is mainly a power bonus. So as you'll see here, we've got Seraphelina, my bad, Valorbound. And of course, Valorbound is going to get a +6 and flying. Has flying, but will be getting a +6 in the 7th round.
Yeah, and so essentially, I mean, depending on when you played her, you spent potentially only 2 energy to be having 8 power on the board in that last round. And
Right.
I think that to understand Ascend, if you're playing a Boundless player, you might snowball a lead early on, but if they're playing Ascend, you need to be watching out for where they're stacking. Because remember, you only need 4 lanes. I believe someone taught me you only need to win with 4 realms. And so maybe a Boundless player is saying, that's fine. You can have those. I'm going to focus on these 4 and watch out, because when we Ascend, these guys are going to be really strong.
Yeah, and dare I say, you may only even need 3 realms. You know, if you're playing Boundless and you play a Cosmic Cleaver in that 7th realm on the 7th round, then no one's getting that stone anyway. So I think that's also worth considering. Is there's so many ways that you can push the bounds. I guess that's why it's called Boundless, right? When playing Boundless, absolutely.
So they're going to cheat again and just say, never mind, it's a 6 realm game, huh? That's what you're saying?
7 realms, never heard of her.
Never heard of it. Well,
Yeah.
Joe brings up a good point about annoying cards, and we're going to talk about one today, Joe, because even though Ascend might be a key game mechanic for Boundless, I'm finding that I feel that a more mechanic, or excuse me, a more one I see more often is Nullify. And Nullify shows up a lot, it seems like, in Boundless and in Petraea. So let's take a look at a card with Nullify. And yes, Joe, it is the Throne. So I'm going to keep it embedded in the Quantum Terror deck. Let's see if this shares. Can you guys see that there? Looks like we got it. Okay, so I just zoomed in on the Quantum Terror deck. And I believe it's appropriate that these 2 cards were put next to each other. Romulex always reminds me of certain Ramel in our playtest group. I don't know if there's any connection there. Next to this Galactic Sovereign Throne. And if you know Ramel, I know Boundless is one of his favorites. So let's talk about this throne. It's been through lots of changes. Do you want to talk about our Galactic Sovereign Throne, Bear?
Absolutely. So for the most part, these cards have kind of stayed the same. This Galactic Sovereign Throne is a fantastic card, and effectively it does away with. It does away with anything that has a significant on arrival ability. It does away with most of Umbrathine. It's an incredibly versatile card that I've had the pleasure of playing as Boundless, but I've had the displeasure of playing as basically anything else. It's a fantastic card, and it was a strong decision to keep it as a secondary item. But we wanted to establish that, because we did discuss this quite a lot. We wanted to establish that Galactic Sovereign Throne is something that should feel like part of the kit of Boundless. You should know when you play Boundless that there is that chance that you're going to be coming up against Galactic Sovereign Throne. And I forget the exact math, but effectively by keeping it a secondary item, you can calculate the probability that you're going to come up against it, because it's basically an auto-include. And that to me feels more reminiscent of a game that can be played systematically and theoretically at a competitive level, which for me has always been the most exciting part of it. It's to know, oh, if he has it, he has it, or if she has it, she has it. But it's really to say, like, this is what I'm looking out for. And so let me play cards to draw that out of my opponent. I'm wanting my opponent to play Galactic Sovereign Throne, so I can then destroy it, for example. Whereas, for example, if we'd made it a primary or a legendary, we might not have the same kind of. I think it would turn off that level of thinking in relation to the playing of Galactic Sovereign Throne. So I'm glad we kept it secondary there, for sure.
Yeah, no, I like hearing that as well. It's that game within a game, right? It's that thinking.
Yeah.
Okay, I'm gonna come. I mean, it's just so good. You know, the fact that once you play it, on arrival abilities, enemies, wonders with on arrival abilities are nullified, and then you
Yeah.
have the option of, okay, so late game now, we have all these on arrivals that maybe I nullified. Now I can free tap it, and now you're not gonna be able to use your tap abilities. Well, those tap abilities are nullified. And I like the idea that you did keep it secondary just for that. So then you're playing this game, and then even me as a Boundless player, maybe I'm trying to tease out some of those item destructions as well with the throne. So maybe I'm like, you know what? I know I got 3 of these. I know you're holding on to like energy extraction or that dragon net. I'm going to play it out here early, hoping that you're going to like pop off on it. And then I've just know that I've gotten rid of one of your cards as well.
Absolutely. Yeah, that's the exact use case for sure.
Perfect. It is core. And so you will want a Boundless land. I mean, there are abilities to play core without having that land, but you will definitely probably want a Boundless land as well. And it is an item. So to me, those items are a little, you know, they're targets, right? They're you can deal with them as opposed to maybe a spell that you play once, you know, and it can affect the entire game. So yeah, that's the Galactic Sovereign Throne. I am happy they changed it. You guys changed it because before it just nullified on arrival. I mean, it just nullified it all basically, the on arrival and tap. Where now I like seeing it where you get it early, it does something, and then later I could see it, you know, based on the game state, deciding on what you want to do.
Totally.
Yeah, it's a fun card. And Joe, I don't know what's more annoying. This Knievel. I know about Dimensional Piercer. I haven't played much with it. I will tell you right now that early on, Throne was definitely more annoying than Knievel. So when we played with that first iteration, I felt it was probably the most annoying Boundless card because, like Bear said, expect to see it. It will be showing up, and so it was just everywhere. And it would come out. I mean, it's only 4 costs, so people were getting out sometime round 2, round 3 because they had 3 in their deck. So it was definitely annoying.
Totally. And it really is an auto include for me, at least. I can't think of a situation in which I'd be playing Boundless and didn't run Galactic Sovereign Throne. And I think we've made it an uncommon, if I'm not mistaken. And that's so that more people have the opportunity to play it, you know, and include it. Oh, rare. Okay, there we go.
Yeah, currently rare, but that's not to say. I mean, we'll find out. It is currently rare. I mean, I don't know. In other card games, I mean, I don't know the pull rates and stuff, but to me, in other card games, rare and below, I felt were okay to get. That does, just because it says rare, you know, you still have your epics, mythics, and stuff. Sure. I felt that it was still easier to get. You know, if people want it, they'll find it, they'll get it. It'll be interesting to see, you know, where it shows up with on arrival too. I feel that there's just a lot of on arrival out there. You know, on play is something that can work around this. It also says enemies with on arrival. I'm just spitballing here, but who's to say an item or an equipment or something else has on arrival that would not be nullified because it's specific that it's enemies. Same if you had an item with a tap ability, that's not nullified. This is just enemies, so wonders, opponents' wonders that are nullified. So it is strong, it is annoying, but if you know it, right, you know that there are ways around it as well.
Yeah, totally.
All right, well,
there we are.
That was an interesting trip into Boundless, and quite appropriate, Joe, to ask about Throne. I'm glad we talked about it because it even showed up yesterday in Discord. Someone had a gameplay discussion question. It was in regards to Throne, and I thought that's hilarious that we're going to talk about this, and you had that question with Throne.
I actually should mention this just because there are going to be some people in the comments who have been doing their homework. In playtest, we have actually, this is a bit of a spoiler, we have actually made Galactic Sovereign Throne a primary. And I think that came from feedback that basically it is just so incredibly strong, and that's also why it's a rare and not an uncommon. So it will be an auto include for 2 for everyone who chooses to put it in their deck for sure.
Nice. So a little bit of alpha there, primary, and then it is rare, which it shows here as well. So a little difficult. Joe says the most annoying card in Boundless is actually the Light Forge. The Light Forge. I don't know much about the Light Forge, but maybe Bear can punt here and see if he can find something real quick.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, effectively, let's see. Yes, of course, the landmark. If you control 3 or fewer stones, it's a land. Opponents can't attack in this realm unless they give you 1 energy or action. This is a classic Boundless card, specifically in realm 1, in round 1. You're using your actions sparingly as you do at the start of the game. Or sorry, you're not using them sparingly as you would at the start of the game. Just trying to get wonders on the board, build your attack, start to snowball maybe. And most of the time, or in some cases, if you're playing aggro, you're using that 3rd action to take the stone. However, if you're coming up against the Light Forge, that's not going to be the case. Because as we see here, if you control 3 or fewer stones, opponents cannot attack in this realm unless they give you 1 energy or action. So you may have had your Sulfera, right? You play your 1-cost Sulfera, or rather, you play your Sulfera land, play your 1-cost Sulfera, and you're ready to take the stone, and then your opponent, playing Boundless, puts down the Light Forge. And now all of a sudden, you have no resources to take that stone. And it forces a draw for Sulfera. It also, I mean, it forces any other action. So maybe you play another wonder or something. But at the same time, you don't want to put another wonder in a realm that requires you to be inefficient with your energy. So it's a it's a naughty card for sure. Yeah.
What I love about it is that it's true Boundless, meaning it says if you control 3 or fewer stones. And so if you are playing more of a send or late game deck, there's potential that you are charging your opponent so much energy, so much action, because you may be sitting all game on 1 or 2 or 3 stones and not even caring, just that's fine. Keep going. And they may be feeling, I feel some pressure against Boundless. I feel that maybe I need to have like a 6-0 lead going into the 7th round because I know they're just going to come back and smash me for 3. I don't know. And so, yeah, once again, breaking those rules, saying, nope, to attack, you have to play. And the fact that, I mean, as a Boundless player, this may last all game long. That's bonkers to me.
Yeah, playing into Boundless, you always need to make sure, I feel like you can starve them of the actions on the final round. And if you can do that, I feel like that's a great way to make sure you can get the leg up on Boundless. And also, I would go as far to say, and this is a general rule, it's a generalization, but if you're playing Boundless and you're coming into the 7th round and they have more than, let's say they have 3 stones, it's good game.
Good game. Shake hands, right?
GG, well played. Yeah, for sure. So, I mean, imagine you pull 3 of these Light Forges and you top deck and you've got them in 3 different realms. If you're not playing Sulfera, you're gonna have a very tough matchup there.
Yeah, it's gonna be a hard time, and I mean, this is just me. I'd be more prone to giving an energy than an action. I mean, actions just, to me, actions seem like the top resource for me. Actions are it. So to me, giving away an action, that's insane. That's insane.
Yeah, there are very few instances in which you would choose to give the action. But we thought long and hard about this, and I'm glad that we included action as an option. And you're right, to force out an action is diabolical. I feel like in 90% of situations we would always pay the energy instead.
Yeah, but I like the card given a choice. I like that I can have the choice. Now that I see the card, I recognize it. And I was playing my brother a couple months ago, and at that time it said just pay 1. And yeah, I had like a candy bar there. I just gave him a candy bar, and he's like, you can't do that. And I was like, well, are we calling the judge here? Let's just says pay 1, didn't say what. And so it was kind of fun. Well, we've talked a little bit about some Boundless strategy, but do you have some other Wonders of the First strategy, Bear, you'd like to share with us today?
Absolutely. So I figured over the next few weeks, I would open up more of the traditional play styles across TCG and speak about how exactly we're going to apply them to Wonders of the First. So today we're going to talk about aggro playstyle. And now this is something, I guess I'll give you guys a kind of a over the top, a top-down view, let's say. Aggro is all about speed and pressure. The goal, right, is to apply constant pressure from the start and force your opponent to react early. You want to focus on early game dominance so that you can snowball into a significant advantage by the end of the game. You know, play fast, hit hard, and I wrote this in my notes, but it's a bit like graphic. Keep your foot on the neck. Prioritize low-cost, high-impact cards that get you on the board quickly, and utilize tools such as Horde, for example. If you're using Horde, you're able to get more and more power for your wonders. And yeah, winning those early stones is absolutely crucial to forcing your opponent into a reactive state, which is what aggro is all about. Think of it like if you're a Magic the Gathering player, it's like mono red. Lots of damage output, relentless pressure. So yeah, Solfera specifically excels at applying early pressure. Right. And I've written here as well, aggro relies on cards that provide immediate value. So you want to establish that board presence quickly. Think wide. So build your power across realms, take those stones early, and then sometimes what can be really helpful, and this is tools that help Solfera. You know, it's not what's so cool about Wonders of the First is that you don't need to play entirely traditional play styles, right? There are ways that you can vamp it up even within the Orbital to make it more dynamic. So we have tools like Dwarven Vault, for example, which is a fantastic card to be put in Solfera. And the reason being, you know, once you have that presence, once you've taken the stone, you can just lock it down. You know, that's your stone now. And the same goes for, we have across a few orbitals, we have really chunky wonders, like big 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13 power wonders even, and that are cheap because they have no abilities, right? They're just these flavor text wonders that you can just put on the board. And for a pure aggro, a fantastic way to how would you say, like, enrich that would be to use these big wonders so that once you've taken the stone, slap a big old 10 power wonder that you paid like, I don't know, 4 or 5 for, and then that just holds the realm for you. You know, you don't need to worry about it. Of course, if you're playing something with Death Strike or Banish, you're going to have to rethink that. But I think that's a great way to sort of maximize your tempo, right? You want to get maximum value out of your energy in card plays. Keep that pressure on. Know when to strike and when to play defensively, and that's based on your opponent's tempo. Like playing aggro gives you more so gives you the opportunity to pass, which is something that we discussed last week. I think it's the most valuable tool in your arsenal is passing and controlling tempo. And usually when you're the one who's controlling the stones, you kind of have more leeway with how you choose to pass. So I think the more it's less about how much should I be passing versus how much should I be playing, and more like how much do I have the mobility to decide whether or not I'm passing right now? And that's a very valuable tool. Of course, managing risk, you know, you can run out of steam pretty quickly playing aggro. You can just kind of, as we say in TCG, you can just kind of smooth brain it. You know, like play the big wonder, attack, play another big wonder in the next realm. But if you're too thin and too wide, you're going to be taken advantage of by any number of tools in other realms. So it's important to use those dynamic cards to sort of innovate on a traditional aggro style. Yeah, so that's it really. If you love fast-paced play that controls the game's momentum, aggro should be your go-to strategy.
Nice. Yeah, I think that sometimes with aggro, especially in wonders, this is where I like that you can draw for an action. So if you have a lot of those cheap wonders you're playing, you're just going to run out of cards and run out of wonders to play. So
Yeah.
a lot of time in aggro, it's like you want some sort of draw engine as well. And wonders, that is always always an option. I like the idea though of attack, and then boom, big guy defend. I think that's a neat tip. And aggro might be an answer to Boundless. If you can get ahead enough. It comes down to, does Boundless have enough actions at the end to really capitalize on their ascend? And then, we talked about nullify today, a flavor text monster. What is there to nullify? So
Sure.
kind of interesting.
Yeah,
We'll see where that winds up. I know a lot of TCGs when they first come out, it seems like beatdown is like a default where it's just big monsters and go until people start feeling out the cards. Where Wonders of the First, I feel already has a leg up on that. I feel people are really creative with what they're building and stuff. So it'd be interesting to see what kind of aggro we see. I know Wicked had that. I would say it was an aggro token. His token aggro deck that he had played last month in the tournament, and just snowball, and then they just get bigger. It reminds me of when you talk about Magic, kind of the weenie whites too, right? The Kithkin and the white deck, where it's just lots of little guys that are going to get strong and just roll over you before the end. So
absolutely. And yeah, with that in mind, I find that when games are released or new seasons come out, or balances are patched, I find that aggro tends to be the first, let's say, the first strategy, or what did I call it? Yeah, the first play style that really forms in the meta. And when I was playing Legends of Runeterra, usually I'd be a combo player, or I'd be doing whether it's combo draw, or I guess mostly like a late ramp, so a kind of Boundless style. But really, in order to get those kind of league points right when the patches would be made and the new season would start, I would pretty much exclusively play aggro.
sure.
So I would say if either you're playing the game for the first time, I would pivot towards aggro. And also, if you're looking to have a very strong playstyle that maybe doesn't require the same intricacy as others, and I think some people think of that as like dare I not intellectualize the game. I think it's important to be able to play a strategy like aggro, because frankly, most of the time it is better than playing combo, because you're playing with a whole lot less parameters and you can focus more on pace and tempo. Whereas with the others, it's so easy to just get lost in like, oh, but I was gonna do this 6 turns from now, and what's my opponent's energy on, and how am I trying to bait out this, that, or the other card?
Right.
Yeah, it's a much better play style to play overall, in my opinion.
Well, there's a certain sense of efficiency as well. I mean, I think it depends on like why you're playing. So when I played Runeterra, and I played Yordles when that tree came out, like that was just I just played for fun. And so if I could win by before you could do your thing by playing, what I'm talking about. Like I just played for fun. But yeah, if you're looking for efficiency, if it's the best deck, it's the best deck. I mean, that's just the bottom line, and that's going to happen, right? If you're playing to win, people are going to play to win. And I agree with you too that when we talk about just the depth, or it's not very like pretty or beautiful, or I got this cool combo. Whoa, that combo is crazy. But I mean, if it's winning, it's winning. And then if you don't have a lot of time to really look through things and stuff and want something that's going to play to win, I mean, play it. Yeah. I play aggro sometimes, it just depends on the mood, but Yeah, it's a fun strat for sure. And then, like you said, that tempo I think is one of the most important things in aggro. Is once that tempo is lost, it almost feels like I'm going to scoop and try again, because
Sure,
it's hard to bounce back from that.
You know what I would love to see would be an aggro Umbra themed deck. I think that would be crazy if you can establish that early lead and still find a way to combo and send wonders to the abyss. That would be
Yeah.
insane.
I feel that would be take care of both ends. Like if you could get aggro, get this lead, and then know, like, if something's not going well, it doesn't matter. I'll be able to reanimate these things from the abyss, or just deny stuff, blow stuff up. Doesn't matter. Bear with his Holy Grail dream deck, Umbrathane aggro, that we're also going to be accessing the abyss, and just causing
absolutely.
problems on all portions of the game, early, mid, and late game. At Boundless, we don't care. We got your number.
Given that we're here, I will say that there was a deck that I had in development during one particular design sprint, which actually Joe joined us at, and that was a there was this deck that I kind of just made my baby for the whole design weekend, and that was a flying Umbra themed deck, basically. So you would attach Death Strike to any number of dragons, and then you'd have Corvus, which allows you to move 2 realms at once, and just fly around this humongous Death Strike dragon. And frankly, if you could get that combo off once, you're set for the game. And we called it Air Force -1. And I'd love to see, perhaps again, this is alpha here, but you'll see that in the future. That's one of those dream decks that you might see me playing at some point.
Yeah. That sounds like a Drogothar, but from Umbrathane. It's just going to go around and just kill everything. And that's those are the things I think are comes up with something, and then you can see that. Well, let's wrap some things up. Talk about a couple other things. I know there's a question about like social media influencers or YouTubers
absolutely.
or whatnot. What's Wonder's go on that?
Sure. We're doing a ton of reach out right now. We're obviously being pretty specific with the sort of official, partnerships that we're doing right now, or like endorsements, right? However, we're encouraging any and everyone to make content on Wonders, and of course, keep posting it on our socials, and we'll see it. We're definitely looking to branch out, given that this game is so new. We're looking to branch out with creators, looking to support you guys and give you the assets that you need, form relationships. So if you already have a big YouTube channel, great. But if you don't, honestly, maybe even better, because you'll be able to establish yourself as a Wonders creator. And of course, we'll be there to support you the whole time. So matter of fact, if I can put my email address in there, go with bear@wondersccg.com, and just send me an email if you have any, if you're interested in becoming a content creator, and we can talk about how I can best support you guys.
That's awesome. And I think it'd be cool too. You have a smaller channel maybe, and it becomes like Wonders based, because I know we have a couple that do multiple games, and then every once in a while they'll pepper in like, here's a Wonders of the First, and then they're back to Magic, or they're back to the other board games, and then 2 weeks later it's like, and here's a Wonders of the First. And so I never know if I get a ping or an alert, what am I watching here? Am I watching a Magic deck? Am I watching a random board game? So that's super cool. I like that.
Right.
I like that a lot. All right, before our big announcement, let's make sure everyone knows what they need to do this week. So play in that tournament. Even if you only play one match, that's still a win to potentially win that Conjure Wayfinder or some cash. Play 3 matches to qualify for the tournament, all best of ones, before our August 25th. And then if you make it to the bracket all the way through, plan on that Sunday playing a best of 3. We'd love to see you and see if we can. I don't know who would technically dethrone, if anybody, but hey, you won a Wonders Radish Run tournament. Don't forget the bracket. We need to make sure the Lich King maybe is stopped, or Lich, I don't know, Lich King, I misread it, but make sure he's stopped. Dark Magic Hydra there, 67, Space Lich 67, Dark Magic Hydra 33. Biased here. We got to stop the Lich, but you know, you guys do you. And then we do need to talk about our announcement for the Orbital Challenge. And then is there a new one coming up already for this next week?
There will be a new one coming up. We're deciding right now if it's going to be tonight that we announce it or if it's next Friday. But what I would suggest is that you keep your eyes and ears peeled. I'm not sure how much of a... Given that it might change, I'm not going to give a little hint, but what I would suggest is you keep your eyes and your ears peeled on our socials tonight, because there very well may be a new Orbital challenge for you to complete this weekend.
All right. I'll be keeping my eyes and ears peeled, but do you want to tell more then about this one that just finished on Patrai? I'll let you take it away.
Absolutely. So we had a ton of entrants, and I want to say, of course, thank you to all of you for being part of this. Very grateful to have all of your submissions. We had landscapes, we had waterfalls, flowers, an assortment of birds, delightful mountains emerging from mist and from clouds, and mushrooms as well. What the winner was an incredible shot, who the winner described as something that really provoked a sense of wonder, and that is showbiz_NFT on X. It was in reference to the Emerald Clearing card, and is pretty much spot on. Like it was frankly one for one. I'm going to go ahead and share this with you, Loco. I don't know if we can maybe get this up on the screen, but I've just sent it to you in Discord. It's a little impromptu,
Sure,
but this is a fantastic piece, and yeah, really congratulations, Showbiz. Whether you're here or not, we're going to be in touch with you and make sure that you get that extra first edition box. So huge congratulations to Showbiz. The meticulous nature with which this picture is taken is really, yeah, it's really special.
nice. We're getting it up here. I think I shared. Let me, and then yeah, if we can pop that up there it is. Wow. Yeah, that's pretty cool. Even the same, you know, like little, I don't know how to describe it. I don't know photos and pictures, but you know, like channels down to that middle, that focal point there.
It's really fantastic. Wow. And that was our major marker for what would win this competition. It was likeness, right? The fact that this is so closely related to the Emerald Clearing, you know, barring maybe the mountains in the back, but so close. I love it. I absolutely love it.
Yeah, I mean, he's catching it. And, you know, the Emerald Clearing has that fog and mist. You know, this is just like 2 hours before it burned off a little bit. You know, this is the Emerald Clearing maybe at 6-7 a.m. and then that's the Emerald Clearing at like 10 a.m. or something like that. It's life a little bit. You know, it's a little bit burned out. No, that's beautiful. Right. Nice job, Showbiz NFT on X. That's wonder, man. You've set the bar high already. Dang, it's crazy. Well done. Well done.
And we had some fantastic entrants, and of course after this show I'm going to be posting across all socials, and you'll see some of those honorable mentions and submissions. Loco, you had a number of really nice shots, and yeah, I would encourage you guys. Remember, there are prizes at stake here, so as we announce the next one, really tell your friends, whether or not they've bought the product or whatever, can get some free stuff for interfacing with our challenges. So
yeah, I figured this was my chance. I kind of took your aggro strategy and went hard this first time because it hasn't been established yet, right? The meta of this competition has not been established. I figured now's my chance. Now that people know two things, now that people know this is the quality that Stone Seekers are putting out, like Showbiz NFT, and now that people know this guy just won a first edition collector's collect and play box, the
Yes.
box, not the mini boxes you can get from the playtest, but a full collect and play first edition that's no longer available. I think that my my aggro strategy is gone now. I think I've but
Oh no.
I thought this was the chance to strike. Well done, Showbiz NFT, and thank you to Wonders of the First for providing this. And we'll keep our eyes on socials, even though something may get hinted at tonight or whatnot. We'll keep our eyes open to see what happens, right, Bear?
Absolutely. Absolutely.
Nice. Do you have anything else, Bear, you'd like to share?
Well, I hope you're all doing well. It's always a pleasure to see you here, and thank you for your constant support. We're so excited with the development of the game. At the moment, on a production level, we are going through a ton of QC at the moment as we send it off to the printer. Like it's Kish. I want to give a shout out to Kisha, who has been, I mean, just busting, like putting in so much work. Like wow, late nights pretty much every night this week, just trying to get this QC done before in time for our deadline. So a huge shout out to Kisha. This week we're doing our stone foils, our OCMs, and all of the foiling as well, so deciding where on the card the foil goes. We've been doing tons of revisions. He posts a he posts a document for QC, and then we have a long list of notes of the things that we want to change. And he says, "You know what? It's fine. I only need to change this across 12 documents."
Right.
So, yeah, bless him. He's doing an incredible job. And thank you guys for your continued support as well. It's amazing being on this journey with you. And yeah, Loco as well. Thank you for just being who you are, man. Hosting this show and doing such a terrific job. We're gonna keep it fun for you guys, and yeah, we're committed to delivering one hell of a product. So thank you.
Love it. I love it. I have nothing to say to follow that except thank you, and thank you, Kish, and thank you to our viewers. We appreciate you. And I guess that's it for this week. Don't forget to keep seeking the